welcome to our show. Hi, I guess Greg, we went to bed and Greg made me now the host for today. Just for today. He's still around. He's here playing with the computer and sending it and sharing it with everybody. He'll come on soon. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope the only thing we ask you is share this video with friends and family members. And the talk, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we kind of talk. We're going to talk about today about spirit. That's what kind of we want to hit off on. Spirits. Are they? It's very controversial because some people say it's real, some people say it's fake, and sometimes religions take over a lot on this. So, I have some hosts. I have Kathy, a friend of mine. We have between me and her, we had an experience, and we want to share our experience. And I want to ask her some questions that I have for her because after this experience, how did she feel, and would she do it again? And then I have Greg. Greg's next, my co-host. He's right now sharing this video with everybody. So if you like if you like to come in, you can come in with us. I guess on top of the information tab, there's the little tab where you can call in or send us a message or a hi for us, and we can say hi too. And let's start. So, Kathy, are you here?
Yeah, you forgot
Or
me.
Greg or whoever?
Yeah,
And
we're
Greg,
gonna go through the three
yeah,
people view
Greg,
on.
how are you? There he is. See?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm.
sorry,
Hold on, let me
sorry.
turn this thing down a
Yeah,
little
there's
bit
Greg.
because my microphone is like blasting. I can.
So, how am I doing, boss? Boss.
No, you did great. You know, it was your idea, so I was like, you know what? Why don't you host this since it was your idea? We do have other ideas coming up, so I'm excited for that. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, no, my friend Christina,
So yeah,
I've been trying to.
yeah,
I'm trying to get her
one
to
of my
talk about
favorite
spiritual fasting because she's totally into that. And the funny thing is, you're totally against it.
That'll be great. Yeah. I'm not
Yeah, because
against
I
it.
do I do intermediate fasting. I really like it. It's just my lifestyle. I have so much free time during the day, you know. So and it actually helps me connect with spirit
Yeah, yeah. So,
because we're talking about spirits and all that stuff. So yeah. So why don't we bring our guest,
yes, yes.
Kathy? So there we are, the three of us.
Kathy,
So hi,
Katilina,
Kathy. How are you?
the three.
Oh, let me
So, hey,
unmute
Kathy, how are
you.
you? Unmute her.
I know I like muted
There we
her.
go. Hey.
Now we got the party
Yeah.
started.
Hey, what's up? What's up,
Yeah.
Kathy? Yeah, we got the party
Hey.
started. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so Kathy, well, I want to share first. I want to let you guys know the situation, what happened, and then from there, I'm gonna ask Kathy about this. So, I shared uh 5 or 6 shows ago about this. What happened is we did a cleansing. Me and Kathy, I took her to do a cleansing. I had a friend that she wanted us to do a cleansing, and I took her, and we did a really good cleansing. But then we got some ghost experiences, and not really ghosts, like really bad vibes. I think even a demon. Don't you think, Kathy?
I think it was a demon. I
Oh,
think it
she
was
can hear.
demonic.
You think demonic? Yeah. So we
Yeah.
did this cleansing. We did a cleansing. Well, let me back up the story so you can understand a little bit of what's going on. What we did is we went. One of our friends, mutual friends between her and mine, she told me, can you read the cards for my dad? And I said, sure, sure. And I read the cards and did a tarot card reading for him and everything. And then after that, he's like, can you go do a cleansing at my house? And I'm sure, yeah, sure. And no, first go check it out and see if there's any bad vibes or anything. And I said, sure, let's go. She took me to her house. I walked around and I said, I feel some bad vibes. And between that time we talked, and I said you should do a cleansing, cleanse it because and I feel like they're really attacking these these things are attacking your kid. And she's like, how do you know that? That is true. He always wakes up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at night, and like screaming, yelling. And I'm like, yeah, we should do a cleansing. And that ended there. Then the next 2 days after, she called me, hey, my dad is weird. He's acting weird, and I took him to the doctor, and they kind of want to lock him up because they think he's crazy. And I'm like, but your dad, I met your dad was really nice. Yeah, and I don't think, can I take him to your house at, it was like 9 o'clock at night. I said, yeah, bring him in over. And I saw him, and I could feel a bad vibe in him. So I sat him here at the office, like my little office right here. I sat him down. I prayed for him and everything, and his eyes were changing different. Like his look, like was like an evil look, kind of. But once I prayed for him and did some
Yeah.
things for him, it it cleared out. And I made him a lavender tea, and he drank it, and he felt good. And I had a San Benito across like this, one of these, and I gave it to him. Take it home and keep it with you for 3 days. Don't let it go with you. And he did, and he felt good, and everything felt good. The third day, my friend called me. Hey, you know what? It's happening again. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get a cleansing, and that's when I called Kathy. Kathy, do you want to join me to do a cleansing? And she's like, sure. She's opening for that, right, Kathy? And she's like, sure, I will go. And we
Yeah.
went, me and her went, and we started doing, we, we started doing the cleansing, and the first thing we felt was hold
The
this,
ritual.
right? I don't know what did you feel, Kathy? What did you do?
Um,
What did you feel on that day?
First, when I walked in there, all that darkness in the entire house was like, there was like, it was imminent. It felt imminent. Like there was danger. It felt like that. So as I walked around the house and stuff, it just like, it got worse. Like from one room to another, it just felt heavier and heavier. And then the thing is that it's not just a kid, it was a baby at the time. The child was not even
Yes.
a year old, and that's what got me to help him out, because I thought, no, it can't. I'm not like in agreement with anything bothering innocence, so I was like, no, yeah, I'll help you out. And when we went to that room, Julio had me come in with him and help him hold a candle. When we lit that candle, it started sparking. Like, it's a holy candle, a regular candle. It should not be sparking. And when it was like sparkling, like one of those that you try to blow out and they come back on, it looked like that. And then the fire kept like getting big and then coming back to small, and like all kinds of crazy stuff that is like, you could tell it's not normal, it's not natural. And then as we were praying in the room, first of all, it's a prayer that I kind of like already know, and I kept forgetting the words. So he had me read it off of the paper. It wouldn't let me finish the prayer. Um, and then when I would get to the part where it mentions Saint Michael, Archangel Michael, um, I couldn't say it. It wouldn't let me say it. And then the dad, oh my God, I'm getting the chills, would walk by the door, look into the room, stare at me like this, and then she'd walk away. And that was like, oh no, 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 no. I go, hey, we need to follow that guy. It's with him. We need to get him like done outside, not in the room. And I remember that as we were doing that, the baby actually fell asleep back in the crib in the room. But when I was trying to get those words out and I couldn't, it was like this really dark and heavy feeling, like they were trying to like mute you. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't let you talk. So it was like, after that, Julio was like, hey, you want to go do another one? I'm like, no, that's it. We're done. Because it was just, it was too much. And it was like, And I don't feel that thing was as strong as, for example, what I had to deal with at my parents' house. Now that thing was pure evil,
That
and it
one was
wasn't as
strong. Yeah, that
strong.
one
But
was
at the same
strong.
time, I was like, you know what, this is deemed respect. It was,
Yes, yes.
it was.
Remember when
But
the
in my house,
when
in
the
my
table
parents'
started
house, that
shaking?
thing that was scary.
So my question
The
is,
which one?
so was he, was there a spirit in the house, or was he like possessed?
It's
Like,
it's
what
a
do you think
it
could
was an evil
happen?
There was
spirit
a
that had
spirit
the
in the house that
ability
possessed
to
both.
possess.
Because if he was like almost like impersonating the spirit by looking at you in a certain way, could that be that he was possessed or was getting possessed? Or
No, what happens is what happens is that to avoid being expunged from the area, he was hiding within that man. Anybody who would have walked out, one of her brothers, anybody, it would have like, attached itself to that person to leave the area so that we were not able to do what we were there to do.
oh, okay, I understand now. Wow, that's interesting. So how did you do
Yeah,
this?
it was
How
it
did you
was. And
guys do
then
this
remember the
ritual?
table shaking when the table shake?
Right. Um, how did we do
What
it
we
with the
did.
candle? I don't remember if you had holy water, Julio. What all did you bring with you?
Holy water. We did holy water, the candle, and some incense. We had a cienzo de iglesia, church incense. So we burned church incense and holy water, and then the our candle. The candle. What do you call that candle?
El cirio.
San no, Sirio Pascual. Sirio Pascual.
So you had an
We had that.
so you had
Those
a
things,
myrrh
and
or frankincense and a Easter
yeah,
candle. Those big ones.
Easter candle. Yes.
Those thick ones.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, I still have one. I still have it.
I
I still
remember I made
have
my
it.
nephew
I
cry with
still
one of those.
they gave it to me.
we went to like this Catholic store, and there was this one that was like 10 feet tall, and it was like humongous. And my little nephew, he might have been like 5 or 6. I
Uh-huh.
was like, "We're using that one for your birthday candle," and he just started crying. He's like, "I don't want a monster candle."
You're so
Like, I'm not gonna
bad.
blow it out.
You're gonna need a ladder for that one.
So the funny part is when we started, we sat down in the living room, me and her, and no, in the kitchen, huh? She had a round table,
In the
so
kitchen.
we thought everything was okay, but it just yeah, in the kitchen, and just in seconds, the table started shaking so bad, like the ones that you see in the movies, they start shaking really bad. That's how it started. I was sitting down in the table, she was standing up, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I said, Kathy, get the candle. And she's like, what do I do with the candle? Put it in the middle of the table. So she got the candle and she put it in the middle of the table. Now what? Turned it on. So just imagine the candle's on the table, it's shaking, and she's trying to turn it on. There was no way she could have turned it, but she got it. But once she turned it on, blam, everything stopped. Everything stopped. And then the funny part was I told her sit down on the other side and start praying, and we started praying, me and her. And the funny part is that's when the little twister started to do a black twister in the smoke. The smoke started turning black like a
Oh
twister.
yeah.
And she's like, what do I do? Just continue praying. And we started praying, and then it just in seconds turned white and it just disappeared. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then now she's doing really good. She moved out. She bought a house, and everything's okay. Her dad is okay. Everything was, yeah.
Did you use the traditional ritual of exorcism, or you just saged the place?
We kind of saged it, and yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
Then tell
guess
him
we all had
about
our
your experience
experiences.
after.
Oh, what happened?
Your experience after.
What happened to you after?
Oh my god.
Don't leave any
Oh.
information out. It followed him home.
It followed me home. It followed me home, so it was here for a couple of weeks until I kicked it out and did the same thing, the same ritual and everything, and I kicked it out. But yeah, it did follow me home. It
He
did
was looking
follow
for
me.
a homie.
So if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it.
Don't do
I mean, you know
it.
what? I
Yeah.
always say
Don't
that
do
with
it.
people because they know I do this kind of stuff, and at the gym they're like, "Oh, I'm planning to buy a Ouija board. I'm planning." I was like, "If you don't know what you're doing, don't touch it." That's my only advice. I was like, "But you played it." I was like, "Yeah, because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not using it as a toy. I'm just using it as for what it is. It's just a tool to enhance. Like when you're having a difficult time with math, you use a calculator, but you don't need it. Like, so if I were you, I won't touch it because I have a feeling you don't know what you're doing. And the thing with those
So
things, all this spiritual stuff works with energy. And
yes.
if a spirit detects that you have some sort of doubt, that opens a different door and something else can come in. They use that energy. So if you're
Yep.
playing this board and you're opening a door, you have to be 100% sure, okay, this is what I want out of this board. And you cannot have any doubt. But then 1 ounce of
Yep.
doubt opens a different door, and then you have a different story.
Hmm.
So,
Yes, that's true. That's true. That is true. So, what
and
do you
here's
think
a
about that, Kathy? What do you think about the
the
board?
wedgie, the wedgie board.
The wedgie board, the Ouija board. I'm
You know
sorry.
where Julio's
You're
mind
always
is
making
all the
fun of me,
time,
okay?
right?
Yes, I always do that. I
Within
always do
5 minutes of
that.
meeting Julio, I knew it. Took me 5 minutes. All I had to do is be quiet because I do tend to
Oh,
talk a
you're
lot.
bad.
All I had to do is be quiet and hear him talk. I was like, oh, un albur.
Yeah.
Not even. Pretty straightforward.
I am. I'm very straightforward.
Yeah. So he was asking, what do you think about the wedgie
The
board?
Ouija board. Getting
Look at Betsy. Betsy's
Well,
Betsy just typed in, love it, wedgie board.
well,
Oh my god, you
with the
guys.
difference of
Oh,
the
that's good.
Ouija board. Ouija board. No, I can't say it right because of your fault, dumbass. I'm gonna
No,
leave that
guys.
The Wigga board.
Okay, so personally, I don't agree with using it because I think that it opens portals to different realms that if you're not prepared to be the say the guardian of that door and keep out the evil stuff, anything can come through, especially like demons and things like that, or strong evil spirits like the one we just mentioned. So I don't use anything like that at all ever. So um I had friends who did and ended up traumatized and things like that. And it's because, and then when I saw it one time in Toys R Us, I'm like, this isn't a game. Why do they sell it here? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's like, I think that certain things demand a certain respect. And I think that is one of them. I told Julio that I used to watch a TV show. I think it was on the Discovery Channel called A Haunting, where the people in that house used to use it and they unleashed a demonic spirit that you could actually see it like have you seen those toys that have like a bunch of needles and you put your face in it and it te dibuja la cara, like your face exactly the dimensions
Yeah.
and everything? Okay, that's what it looked like coming out of that wall. Do you see what I'm saying? So when I saw that episode, actually, that's what got me to stop watching that show because I started feeling things, and I'm like, dude, I'm bringing it from the TV to my house. No, no more. That's it. You know what I mean? It's
But
that
it's all
sensitive of a thing
rehearsed.
that
It's
it demands that
scripted.
much respect that you gotta stay away from it. You know?
I mean, there's
But
some directors do
it's
such
based
a
on
good
true
job.
events.
Some directors
Oh,
do
Yeah.
such a good job that it makes you feel like it's so real. But there's been a few
right.
stories that after the movie's been done, because like some writers actually do their homework, that the whole process of creating the movie and constantly repeating the same thing, it actually starts creating that energy, and it starts opening portals
Right.
to other things, like the
You know which one did that for me?
poltergeist.
No, the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project.
I've
Like you
not seen
never
that.
saw anything, but dude, I was like by myself in my house, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta call somebody." I was like that. I don't know. It was weird. You know what I mean? It's
I've
the
not seen
So
that.
psychological
guess who
thing, and I
gets the
get it.
12 o'clock
But this was based on a true
calls
story.
at night?
Oh, yeah, you're missing out.
What, you get scam calls at midnight? Is that
I
what's going
won't
on,
watch a
Julio?
scary movie by myself
Yeah,
anymore.
it
But
calls me
that
at 12
one
midnight
was
sometimes.
scary.
I think like my similar
I can't
experience
sleep.
is,
Talk to me.
it's when I had to do a cleanse at my niece's house. I think I told the story that she was being touched, and they thought she was just, you're just going through stress or whatever, until my nephew started hearing the noises. So I go over there and I'm trying to communicate with the spirit, and my niece is like, I felt his presence leave as soon as you walked in. So I'm like, I'm going to go get my cards in the car. That way I can talk to the spirit through the tarot cards. So I was going to use tarot cards. So as soon as I walked out of the car, she said, all of a sudden everything felt dark. And as soon as I walked in, he left. So I was like, okay, so I don't know who you are. I can feel you. I can identify you. You ran to the corner and you vanished into the wall. So I'm pulling out cards, and all they keep saying is like, I'm not leaving. Whatever you do, I'm not leaving. And so I told my mom, and I explained to everybody, because my mom's a strong Catholic. So she had her rosary, she had her holy water, she had everything, and I had sage, Palo Santo, the complete opposite. So my mom started like doing the prayer. She got everybody. They did the rosary, the creed, and she's like, you don't belong in this house, blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm going to start meditating so maybe I can hear what this guy really wants. And I sat down and I heard laughter. He's like, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in that God. So he can't do nothing to me. So I'm like, okay, so apparently he's not a Christian. So what am I going to do? This spirit does not want to leave. And all this Jesus is not working. So the first thing that popped to my mind is some book I was reading by Devin Hunter, and he actually shared my life the other day. He works with the goddess Hecate. So I'm like, I'm just gonna talk to her and see if she will help me with this. So I'm like getting in this meditative state, and I'm like, I need to borrow your hounds, your dogs, and supposedly these are the dogs that guard the gates of hell. So I'm picturing this whole thing, and I'm like begging her, just take the spirit wherever it needs to go. Take it to the abyss. Because this is the second time I came to this house. Nothing has worked. He started laughing at Jesus because he doesn't believe in it. He does not believe in the Christian God. So it's not going to do nothing. All of a sudden, everybody just heard this creepy, scary silence. And it's that even when you're with people and you hear people talking, you can feel a silence. It's like kind of creepy. And the voices just feel unnormal. And everybody was saying there's something weird going on. Something weird's going on. Greg is doing something in the room. As soon as like I saw the spirit go into this dark, dark hole with the dogs, everything it looked like they turned on the lights. Like lights start coming in. Everything still feel better. And ever since, she has not had an issue until recently. It started again.
Oh
But
my
this time
god.
it's something
Try
new.
it again.
It's no, but it's something new because the her boyfriend even identified it, and he saw the spirit walk into the living room and knock down a box, and it spoke to him. It said congratulations, and it disappeared. And a month later, my niece finds out she's pregnant.
Oh, that's good.
So he thinks it must be,
So,
someone from his family that passed away because she was like, I was scared, but I wasn't like terrified scared like she was with the other spirit.
uh-huh.
So, in my opinion, I guess it
Very good.
depends with what kind of spirits you're working with because not the Christian God is not going to work in every spirit. And they're not going to want to leave. So no matter how many Padre
Yeah.
Nuestros you throw at it or how many creeds
Hmm.
or Hail Marys, they're not going to leave because they don't believe in that. It all comes down to the belief
I know.
system.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the thing,
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
have to
that's
believe.
true.
It's the person that's doing the ritual that has to believe and how strong their faith is and the tools that you use. Since that event, I've learned that in order to exercise anything, and we were missing these tools, Julio, it takes holy water, it takes salt blessed by a priest,
Hmm.
and it takes olive oil, also blessed. O sea, se tiene que ungir. How do you say that in English?
Unite.
Unite.
No,
But here's the
ungir.
thing because when my mom did it and
Not
my
unir,
mom has
ungir.
ungir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it anoint? I think it's anoint.
Like to put on the body? Yeah, anoint.
Because you're blessing. But what you're doing is you're blessing. So you're actually having to put some salt, for example, on certain parts of the house, and you have to leave one space open for it to exit through there. So the rest of the house is holy with some salt, holy water, and oil. All corners except one corner so that it could exit through there. Once it's out, then you bless that one too, and then he can't come in anymore. Does that make sense?
It does make sense to
Yeah.
me. But like what I'm saying is like I know a family that they constantly have taken priests to the house and they've done a full on exorcism and it has not worked. And I told them this is a spirit that just does not, it doesn't. It's because the energy's there, it pushes him out, but as soon as it subsides, it comes back. You need to have an actual authentic person that knows the spirit world like an actual shaman. If this spirit is not,
Exactly.
it's not reacting to the Christian God, no matter how much holy water you have,
No,
no
it has
matter how
to be
much this, you need to have an actual shaman that
right.
can travel into that world of spirit and grasp this spirit and actually get rid of it. Or else it's not.
Yeah.
And they still have that problem. They can't find a shaman. They've gone to Mexico 1,001 times. And then they just keep, taking all their money.
I think they're
No, well,
open.
here's the thing. An exorcist priest is the only one that's supposed to be able to do that, and unfortunately, they're very limited as to the amount of priests that there are in a certain area. One and two, they don't just go to your house. It's like the diocese has to okay it.
Approve
I
it.
didn't know
Yeah.
that
And
exactly.
if it's
And
on a
then so I don't
person,
know if you guys have seen the movie The Bright.
yes.
And it's about that. And I did some research to find out for myself how feasible it is. It really isn't. So back to the show that I was telling you about, they didn't want a priest to go in there until they did the diocese sent a priest to do the research, and then they sent an exorcism priest to do that cleansing, and that's how they finally got rid of that spirit that I'm telling you
It's
about.
because those
And
those those
you know how I was
priests.
explaining to you that how they attach themselves to a person to leave the area. They were doing the same thing with the head of the household. They were leaving with the man every time he'd go outside. So that's how I know about all that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, if you watch the exorcism of Emily Rose, that's based on a true story, on a true lawsuit. They explain, and ever since that lawsuit, supposedly that's why the church, in order to conduct an exorcism on a person, they have to go through a very extensive psychiatric evaluation. And
Yes.
once they can't
Yes.
find any psychiatric evidence, then they'll consider it paranormal, and that's when the
Or
church will take
scientific,
over.
logical, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's crazy.
You're all quiet
They
now,
finally
Julio.
deemed it that, and then
Yes, you guys are scaring me. Cucuy.
Oh, please. I've only seen one
yeah,
exorcism
Mr.
in my
Let's go do
life.
an exorcism.
I actually seen one in my life, and that really did scare me. Like, I was 16 at the
Well,
time.
tell your friend that Kathy and
Oh
I
wow.
can go do the cleansing for that house.
Are you gonna come all the way to San Francisco just for that?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go do it.
Okay,
Well, I was gonna do it.
charge, okay, for that.
Because I was gonna do it. I was actually gonna do it. I was gonna do the Banishing Ritual by the Golden Dawn. So this is written by the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and it's just a ritual to actually make bad energy banish from a certain location. So I've been practicing it. I do it once in a while when I feel really tired or exhausted, or when I feel like something got attached to me, and then it just goes away. So
Okay. Okay.
you kind of, but you got to work on your Hebrew pronunciations.
Um, uh, the only
Hala,
thing,
hala.
no, that's Allah, Allah, Namaste. No, that's it. Sorry. Oh, we're gonna say
Greg, you're
Allah, pero
muted.
Allah ching. Allah.
No, but there's like names like Elohim, and then you have to know how to pronounce like the Archangel Michael, Raphael, like in a specific way to raise the vibration to cast a to vanish to do the vanishing ritual. So I'm a big fan of Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have
Me
my
too.
Archangel Michael and everything,
I
and
say Gabriel too.
when in need, I'm like, all right, Michael, do your thing. Or my spirit guides, I'll ask him
I
questions.
have
So I was
them
like, what
all.
should I do?
I have my seven. My seven angels. Yeah.
All right, Julio, what's next?
So, what's next? So, any
Mr. Host.
messages? No messages? No
Comments,
text,
concerns?
secretary? Comments, concerns, or anything?
Comments,
Remember last
concerns,
time
precautions,
we didn't have
pregnancies
it
that we need to
on?
know about.
Yeah.
Those calls.
It's okay.
But it's so interesting how we all have different
Hello.
point of views of the same exact topic.
Yes.
The good thing it's based on experience.
That's weird.
Yes. The thing is that I studied
Yes.
catechism for 4
Yeah.
years before I did my first communion, and then I taught it for another 6. So in total, I did like 8 years of catechism. You know, we did retreats. Had like the charlas with the priests and stuff like that, and so I've learned a lot through all of that. And then when we would go to church on Sundays, I'd look at it in a different way from like any ordinary person that would go to church because of such extensive, teachings.
Shut up, Greg. What are you
From
thinking?
that, and
Oh, Chico.
when you teach, you're learning again.
No, yeah.
So this is why
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it takes strong faith, because I had a dream
Mhm.
at one point that was extremely out of the ordinary, where I was in a place that looked like, I don't know if you've ever seen those caves that are in the mountains in Jerusalem, that I was in a house that looked like that you would walk in and then you could walk out and on the edge of the mountain and then go back in. That's what it kind of looked like. And then I saw the Virgin Mary, and she looked all tore up, and she was like, help me, I can't find my son. And I was like, what? This is weird. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
I saw myself outside in what would be like the yard of the place, and it was the devil. And I confronted it. And I was able to defeat it in my dream. To me, that meant that my faith was strong enough for me to be able to defeat it, which was like I said, very weird in the dream. It turned into a swirl of fire, and then it took the image of my sister that at the time I didn't speak to, and then it's like it dissolved, you know. And when I got up, I was like, "What was that about?" You know.
Yeah.
At the time, I was a teenager, and I used to feel this thing climb on top of me, and I couldn't move. I felt myself scream, but I couldn't make a sound. And I would try to open my eyes, but I was afraid to at the same time because I didn't want to see it. I felt that it was coming from the closet, which was always open. And I was like, where I couldn't move until it would let me go, you know? And it tended
Mhm.
to happen every single time somebody died in the family. So the last person that passed, I believe it was my grandfather. And I lay down, and when I lay down, I put my arms behind my head like that on the pillow, and I felt it coming. And so I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done with you. Excuse my language. But I was like, I talked to him that strongly, and I was like, I'm done. This is the last time you're going to bother me. So whatever you're going to do, just do it and then leave me alone. Don't you ever bother me again. So by me doing that, it actually, I saw a vision and stuff. And after that, never again did it do anything like that to me. So I do believe in the power of the faith. You really have to have it. You can't just say, oh, I have faith. No, you really have to be faithful and know that the power of God is stronger than anything else. That's the only way you could get through anything like that from personal experience.
I saw some comments. What happened?
You saw some what?
Craig Audio comments.
Oh yeah. So
Adios.
Betsy was saying, can you sense which archangels are around a person? And then she said, how cool your dream. Wow.
Thanks.
I always have interesting dreams with the devil, and it's probably because I grew. Okay, so I grew up Catholic too. I read the entire Bible as a kid, which was different as an adult. I read it as literature, so I read the whole thing from cover to cover. And reading that, analyzing that, and then looking at the Gnostic Gospels, which Julio always gets lost when I talk about the Gnostics. Because it's really off from the church, and the church always called those people heretics back in the days. So I have a more ample thought about religion, but yes, faith does make a lot of difference because it's also an energy. And instead of calling it God, I like to call it source, because in many of the Gnostic Gospels, it makes reference to God as being men and women, being both energies in one. So instead of saying, oh, God, the guy, or the bearded man in the sky, I'm like, you know what? Let's just call it source, or the fountain where we all come from. And to me, that's like when instead of just saying God, I was like, well, I'm asking the universe or the source or whatever's out there, please help me out on this one. Just don't exaggerate it like you always do. Because I feel God, I sometimes feel like he exaggerates. Like my cousin, she prayed for patience. Now she has a child with severe ADHD. I was like, you should have not asked for patience. You should ask for the lottery. But gotta be specific with God, because he will give you a little bit more than you just, a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it
So
is
anybody
true.
that
They
wants
say
to join
sometimes
in the
God will give
conversation,
you more.
come on. Yeah. Yes. If anybody wants to join in the conversation,
That's
come
why
on.
my
Feel
saying
free.
is more
Join.
like, I usually tell him, I go, you know
What
what I
is it,
want, but
Kathy?
you know what I need. Give me what I need. And I get what I need. Thank God.
And I always say, watch out what you wish for.
I know.
Watch out what you wish for.
Yes. You have to be watching out.
Because it's almost like if you ask God something, like you have to be incredibly specific with excruciating details. Because if you leave something out, he's like, well, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. Here you go. You can have that. And then you're like, oh, why are you doing this to me? You must really hate me. I was like, well, you forgot to mention that part. You know? It's like somebody was like, I just want to get into a car accident because I want a new car. They'll pay for it. I was like, well, you really know how this thing works now, right? Because if you want a new car, like out of the blue, it has to come out of somewhere. So you kind of get it. It's like no one's going to give you a free car. And believe it or not, like 3 months later, they get into a car accident. Their car gets totaled. The insurance paid it. I was like, at what cost? Now you're going to have back pain. Your life is not going to be the same. At that cost? Like, oh yeah, at least I got a new car. I was like, all right. Watch out what you asked for.
No.
Yes, watch out what you asked
But
for.
it's the whole check and balances with the universe. You know, that's why when people are like, I want to do a spell where I become rich. I was like, it might work by having someone you love die and then you get their inheritance. Now you don't have your loved one no more.
Yeah.
It could happen, but it's going to come from somewhere. It has to come from somewhere. It cannot just poof out of the sky and there you go. There you have it. It's like it just doesn't work like that. You know, magic is just a natural thing. It just works on your favor. So if you want money, get a job.
That's true.
I read a book about white magic, the Wicca, how that works, and the way it says that you chant to make it materialize, right? So basically, you have to it's like life. You have to visualize it coming to you, but you got also it's kind of like you're planning it, and you make that come to you, and that's how it comes to you, you know, without, like you're saying, you know, repercussions, you know, or because of somebody's bad coming. You see what I'm saying?
So basically,
how you make it materialize.
So what Wicca kind of sort of teaches in the white magic stuff is like they're gonna put everything on your favor, but you still have to work for it. So it's like instead of doing a spell or whatever or affirmation of I'm gonna get tons of money, then there's a job that crosses your path that pays a lot of money. You're like, no, but my spell is not working. It's like, dude, there's a job and it pays over 100,000. Take it. It's like you're not gonna get that anywhere else. It's like it's working on your favor. But it's kind of like I told one of my friends, like I was telling Christina, I was like, one day I just want to run into a bag of money and I'll just go deposit it in the bank. I'm so tired of being broke. I just want it that easy. Yeah. Some bank robber didn't do it right and it just flew out of their truck and I happened to find it. Wishful thinking, but you know, I
turned over.
Right?
Yeah.
I see you shuffling your cards, Julio.
No. Okay, I have a lot of incense, so we have a lot of cleansings that we can do. We can now do a lot of cleansings.
No.
So Betsy says, awesome, your faith and how you told it.
This time. No, forget it. Thank you.
So if anybody wants to join the conversation, come in and join us. Or if you want a card reading,
oh, you're San Benito.
Doing card readings too.
Yes.
Oh, I have a crystal.
Always.
I have my San Benito.
I have my crystal too.
I have a
What did I tell you this is called, Julio?
My little walk.
Turmeric or what?
Yeah.
Tourmaline.
We're gonna show our.
I have my Tinsha bells for meditation.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's pretty loud.
Yeah.
Even louder. Just kidding. Blow your ears off.
It's really loud.
Yeah, this microphone is
Yeah.
so sensitive. Like I keep telling my mom, don't yell at me when I'm on Zoom, because everybody hears everything. And at work,
Yeah.
it's like, what's going on? Why are you guys speaking
Oh,
Spanish? I was like, because that's the language I
Yeah.
speak at home. That's the only language and here's the funny thing,
Yeah.
like, I did ask for a Spanish speaking raise, and my boss's boss was like, oh, you don't qualify. I was like, that's the only language I speak at home. What do you mean I don't qualify? Because I don't speak it or what? I can read it and write it. I should show her my Facebook comments where it says my Spanish is so eloquent. Here's some evidence.
you need to get assessed, like, for your job. Get an
No, I
assessment
was
for your
like,
job so that somebody who is also a Spanish speaker can say that you do and you get paid more money. I tried to do
actually,
that at Kaiser, but since they didn't offer me the permanent position, it wasn't worth it.
no, actually, I translated a 5-page document and it was sent to like somebody, like a professional translator, and they're like, this looks like it was written by a native. What more do you want? So I was like, you know what? From now on, I'm not doing
Hello.
anything in Spanish, except to my friend
Right,
Sandra.
right.
We're just gonna Spanglish the whole day.
Because it's worth money.
Yeah. Like, any other ways you
Yeah.
would like to rip
That
me
is what
off?
makes Spanish speakers. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Kathy, you wanted a reading, you told me, right?
Ooh,
Yes,
readings.
please.
Yeah, she wanted a reading. Kathy wanted a reading. What do you want to know? Tell me what you want to know, and I'll get you what you want. All
Well,
right, let's
just
start. Okay.
put them out there. Tell me what you see.
Mhm. You want me to tell you what I see? Get a job.
Wow.
Bitch. Be nice, Julio. You're
We
the
always like
host.
that.
No one's gonna
Yes,
want
I'm
to
the
call you
host.
after
I'm
this.
being
Calmate.
nice. All right, we're gonna
Te,
do a
te va a salir el
I want to do a
cucuy.
three card today. I don't feel like a three.
Hey, te van a jalar las patas.
Te va a salir el cucuy. And not the one from the radio station.
Yeah.
He has a nice body.
Oh my god.
That
Okay.
reminded me of that
Someone look
episode of
like
SpongeBob
Ah.
where, have you seen that? I don't know if you guys watch SpongeBob, but when his like biggest nemesis comes in and he's like, just imagine him without any clothes, and then I'll start laughing, and then he imagines him with any clothes, and he goes, "Oh my god, he's hot!"
Oh God.
I was like, "Wow, se pasaron," but that was good. All right,
I got
Julio.
your card right here.
So there we go. We rose the
All
vibration
right,
with a
you know
little
me.
laughter.
Yeah, we rose. Okay, Kathy, I got your card right now. Okay, you know me how I do my readings. I don't go by the card. I just used a little bit to enforce, how it is. So I'll show the card to you so you know what it is. If you can see it. And then now we're starting the reading. Oh my god.
And it's upside down?
Yeah.
Okay.
What card is it?
The dead guy.
I don't know.
Because we're talking about the dead.
Yeah. All right. Decisions. It's about decisions. So it's sleeping, decide. So it's time for you to sleep on the things that you have. You told me today you have different positions for a job opening, and it's telling me right now it's decision time. So sleep on it today, and think which one is really really good for you, which one's going to pay better, and which one's going to be better for you and close for you. um don't overthink of it. Follow your intuition and your gut feeling which one is better for you. don't do it a lot for what is the money. Don't do it for the money. Do it more for what's more and what's better for you, and which one is more something that you can handle. You know,
Okay.
and you don't, and it's not gonna make you stress out a lot. Not stress out a lot, and don't. So think about it. Think about that
The long run.
that job. Which one do you? Yeah, which one do you want? Okay.
Hmm.
Here's the other one. Let me show it to you. Can you see it?
Yes.
So,
The Queen of Cups.
okay, here we go. So this is mostly you right now. You're okay, but there's some little problems. Little problems. It could be a little bit of everything go together. Financial problems. Uh, Relationship problems, even family problems. So,
My goodness.
it's telling me to let go of the family problems a little bit. Let them deal by their own. Let them deal by their own. Don't
Got
even
it.
pay attention
Will
to
do.
that. Focus more on you than anybody else. Right now you have a lot of
Okay.
things you want to accomplish, but you need to pay attention more in you. Um,
Okay. I haven't been doing that either. I know. I feel
don't
neglected.
don't don't believe everything that you hear, or don't believe the people that they say that they're telling you things. It might be the wrong information, if you know what I mean. Um,
Okay. Can you repeat it? Because you kind of cut off a little bit. For me not to believe what again?
well, watch the video.
Be nice.
No, it's because you
Don't
cut off.
believe. Go back.
Julio,
I
you cut off.
know. It's just telling me that
It's going to
don't
cut off again.
believe, because they don't want you to get. Don't believe the stuff that they tell you. This isn't to any particular person. Don't believe chismes. Don't believe things that they tell you. Don't believe it all the
Got it.
time. Um, it's just an object to make you feel that you're important, but you're not. Like you're not for them. You're not important for them that much. Okay.
Okay.
Honestly, right now
Okay.
is this card is kind of telling me a little bit. Just try to be more in yourself. Look, feel more, meditate more in yourself. Feel more in yourself. How do I say? Put more attention to yourself this week. Meditate. Do things for
Okay.
yourself and your son. I can't say just yourself because you have a son. More for both of you guys. Pay attention more
Right.
for both of you. Treat yourself for something. Dinner or go out or something. But yeah,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
okay, that's it. Did that help you? Did that answer your questions?
Thank you. Yes. It actually did
Mm,
because I've been like
okay.
asking that question to the realm for a little bit, and I was like, let them answer it for me then. And there it is. Thank you.
All right. Is that all you need, or you want me to draw a card?
Let's get Greg to be one reading.
You do me.
All right,
Oh, that sounded nasty.
only in your mind, Julio. Only in your mind.
Oh my
I know,
god.
man. God, I'm
All
telling you,
right,
it's
I'm sorry.
24/7.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Dios mío.
Shut
La
up.
purísima.
Yes.
So I pulled out the five of
Okay.
swords. So I put it on the screen so you can see it. On my end, it did come out reverse. So with this card, to me, it tells me. Oh, let me get the other card ready. Okay, there it is. Anyways, this card tells me that a lot of the things that you've been going through are like they're finally coming to light. So you are able to identify the problems, the situations, and with the Chariot, which also came out reverse. So this card tells me that you basically do have the tools, you have the idea, you just have not taken off. You just kind of just sitting there, you're like, okay, so when this happens, I'm going to take action over here. When that happens, I'm going to take action over here. But then you just realize it's not happening. So like this card said, you've been able to identify the problem, the situation, and you kind of you want something to happen. You want that cause and effect situation because you like to react to that. But these two cards together are kind of saying, hey, there's a few things you need to give it that push. Your Chariot is not going to move unless you push it.
Oh.
It's like those cars from the 80s that you have to get everybody out of the car and give it a push so it will start. So it's kind of like that. Your car's from the 80s, so you have to give it a good push to get it a good start. But the problem is which project or which situation are you going to start with worst? Which situation are you going to start with first?
Yeah.
Oh, what do I keep saying? Worst. I guess you need to put them in categories. And you know that box of 4 where you put like your priorities and your least priorities? I guess you need to start categorizing it in that way. And then take each box, one box at a time.
It's hard. That's the hard part.
I keep getting the feeling and the sensation that this probably involves more people. I feel like this involves more people than just you. So it's the whole management thing. It's like I have to manage this person, I have to manage that person. It's like you're old enough to do that yourself, but it's like no, they just really happen to rely on you.
Yes! Oh my god, you got it. Yeah. I'm about to get the belt out here.
So let me draw another card, and we have the 8 of Cups. Let me find it. And this one is what it looks like. It's not reversed. So this card, as you can see, he is out in a search. I keep feeling like 2 months, 2-3 months. I've been trying to stay away from the timing, but it's just, like I have to throw it out there. So it almost feels like 2 or 3 months that you've been searching for answers. You constantly look at it, but what the other card suggests is like, it's all right there. It's right in front of your face. It's under your nose. You just happen to have a cold and you can't smell it. You know, it's that situation. You have a cold and you can't smell the flowers, but they're under your nose. Or you're just trying to avoid it. Also with the moon here, as we can see, there's the moon. And the moon sometimes talks about the fear of the unknown or the fear of disappointment. But also the moon is very intuitive. So listen to your intuitive hits that you've gotten. You have gotten some hits that like, no, there's no risk on doing this thing. But you're at the same time, you're like, but I still don't know if it's not going to work out. Even though something just tells you, I know it's going to work out. But I think you just want that solid answer. It's almost like you want your answer to be tangible. It's like, you see, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can squeeze it, I can stretch
Yes.
it. You just want it tangible, but it's not. It's a solution. So I will leave you with that
Do
for
you want me
now.
to tell you how it was that I was like searching for it?
Go for
I
it.
was like, I'm hoping that if it's a yes, the cup, the card with the cups, the Ace of Cups would come out, like fly out. That's what I was hoping for. And the funny thing is that you guys
Okay.
pulled out cup cards, so I'm like, okay, it's a yes, it's a definite yes. Okay,
Yeah.
got
Well,
it.
and the cups usually represents our feelings. So this
Yeah.
is something that it's emotional to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer, so you know what I mean. It's like the cups is my thing.
Everything's emotional.
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go back to us. There we
And the
go.
moon and all that.
Us. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Wasn't there somebody else in line?
I don't know. She left. Hopefully, I don't know.
Well, she can come tomorrow. We're doing it in Spanish tomorrow. It's all in Spanish tomorrow. So be prepared, Julio. You're hosting tomorrow.
Again?
Remember what we do? Like on a Friday, we try to mirror it the next day,
Yeah. Yeah.
En
that's the
español.
next day, so yeah.
unless it changes. Because I'm not sure if Manu is gonna be here. Who is his dad is a shaman, so he has that witchy background. So we can ask, the 1001 questions. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully he'll be
Yeah,
here.
sure.
Oh, I have
Okay,
a
cool.
question, Greg. Now that I have
Yes?
you guys here and I've just remembered. Okay, so after having that experience with Julio with that spirit, right? I'm at work one day here at Kaiser, and obviously I know that there's a lot of spirits. I didn't usually sense anything until this one day. I came out of the ladies' restroom, and it's like I walked into him because all of a sudden I'm looking around like, where am I? And I couldn't figure out which way to go. I stood there, not kidding, for a minute, and I saw some of my workmates. I'm like, ha, hi. With the mask, you can't even see it, but I'm like, ha, I'm like all confused. I'm like, oh, Jesus, what happened? Where am I? And I'm like, which way do I go? And I just like veered left and started walking until I found my way, and I went back to where I was supposed to go, you know? But I was like, okay, what is that? Was it like concentration of energy there of somebody who maybe passed away and was like with dementia or Alzheimer's, because we get a lot of that, or psychotic or something, or what do you think that was?
You want to take that one, Julio? And I'll go second.
No, you go first.
So, there's a few types of spirit activity. There's one that it's like residual that tends to happen over and over again, and some of the spirits are not aware that this is what's happening. You just happen to see the apparition and then it leaves. There's others that are just like once in a lifetime. They appear and then they're gone, and that's it. For the rest of eternity, that's it. And there's others that they are aware that they're spirits, they're ghosts, they're this, and they have intelligence and they communicate. So I think it might be some kind of residual, something that might have, something that this person just tends to repeat that. And if you were a little confused, oh, ¿qué pasó? No, ¿por qué? ¿Qué pasó? Oh,
There's mom.
she always does that, even at work. Well, it's with the time change, she's so like disoriented, and it's kind of like what we're talking about. They tend to repeat, and they probably got stuck in a time frame. So maybe that's what's going on with them. Like you happen to, because you're so sensitive, you happen to like run into that energy, and it just kind of ran through your body.
Yeah, it was the weirdest
Yeah,
thing. I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, am I gonna faint? It's weird.
Because so there's a few hospitals in the area, not in this town. We have to drive to another town, and my mom had like this bone scan that she had to do, and the whole entire hospital was closed except that department for that day. So she was the only one at that hour, so there was no one in the entire hospital. So we're sitting there, and my mom's like, I'm feeling really, really cold. I was like, oh, it's probably a spirit. We're just joking about it. So the nurse comes out, they can't really tell you much about what they're doing. They can tell you the procedure, but you can't really say much because that's the doctor's job. And my mom's constantly saying, it's getting colder and colder. And the nurse just said, I can't really tell you what the results are or anything from the machine. No, my mom's just complaining that it's getting colder and colder. And I just made the joke. I was like, it's probably spirit activity. And she like froze. And she's like, no, it's true. I was like, I normally don't talk to people about this, but there's a woman out there. And I describe how she's dressed. And I'm like, and she runs the hallways. Where we were sitting, she kind of stood there, kind of stared at us. And that's when my mom started feeling cold. And she kind of is passing the hallway right now, back and forth, running back and forth. That's why she's feeling cold. For some reason, I don't pick up that type of spirit activity. And she's like, I don't want to interrupt you. Keep telling me. So I keep telling the whole story about this woman. And I'm like, she has dementia. And she's trapped here. And she's not responding. She's like, I felt the cold. I felt the chills. And rarely, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I was like, you know what? I think you pick up on that spirit energy when you're here. And maybe she just runs right through you and you embody her personality for a quick second. And that's what happens. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I told her that, she's like, wait here. So she runs. I don't know. She went into her locker. She grabbed her cell phone. She calls her coworkers. And she called the lady, the janitorial manager, because she was the only one that speaks English. And she's telling them that everything I said is exactly what some of the janitorials have been seeing in that building. The same lady I've been describing, the way she looked, the way she just stares at you plain blank because she has dementia. And I can hear the other nurse just tell her, you know what, this was a mental institute before it was a hospital. And I was like, I'm sorry, she must be trapped here and she's looking for her family and she feels like she's going to come out and she's just trapped. And so when she runs in through somebody's body, you just happen to embody their personality for a quick second until they leave. So I think that's what might have happened. You just might have embodied this man. It feels like it was a man, was it? So you might just embody it?
It might have, because it felt tall, and the energy was light but heavy at the same time. Kind of like his personality was light, but he was heavy because he was tall, possibly big. You know what I mean? It was like all over. It was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing,
other people, and some are like how you said. I've sensed other people like they're sad because they're waiting for somebody to come and take them. They're waiting around for them, but they don't bother anybody. This one was totally invasive. You know.
Yeah. Like, did it feel like he had knowledge of who you were?
I think he did, and that's why he did it. Because it's not the only time that I felt it, but I think that other times he hadn't caught me in the position where I was vulnerable, like right out of the restroom. You know what I mean? He took advantage of me, goddammit. Because other times I feel it, like as I'm passing by, I'm like, whoa, what the heck, you know? But that day, since I just stood there, I was like, oh crap. Where am I?
You know, so, yeah, before my dad passed away, he was in the IC unit for almost a month, and he constantly complained about the room he was in. He's like, there's always this nurse, very rude, comes in and just looks out the window, doesn't talk, doesn't check my vital signs, doesn't do anything. And one day he was just nonstop complaining because she's like, she went and stood over here and then it got really cold. I was asking to turn on the heater and she was just rude when she gave me her back. So I went and talked to the nurse, and I was like, "Hey, my dad's complaining that there was a doctor or a nurse, and she just came in, and she's like, actually, last night we had all male staff working." And I was like, "Oh." And then that same day, the next day, so I'm tired, I'm exhausted. We've been going to the hospital every day. And before you go into the IC unit, there's like a separate room, like a waiting
Yeah.
room. And I'm sitting there, and my mom is just like looking out the window, waiting for the nurse to come in and tell us we can go see my dad. And I'm laying on the chairs, and I'm just looking out the window, and I'm like, "Mom, did you just see that nurse walk in? But the doors never open." She's like, "Yeah, I was about to ask you that. The nurse walked in without the doors opening." I was like, "Yeah, I think that's the nurse my dad's been talking about." She just started her shift.
And it's a female.
It's a female.
Oh,
It was, but the thing is, like, to enter the IC unit, you have to have a card to enter, and for the
Yeah.
people to enter, they had to
bad.
go to the right and wait in that room. So there's no way for anyone to enter. So I'm sitting there, and there's all these windows, and you can see the doors. And all of a sudden, I just see the feet moving, and I was like, I did not see those doors open into the IC unit. I did not. And my mom's like, "Did you see the doors open?" And we were like, "No, it was just, I guess we're just tired. She might have opened the door with a key." I was like, "Nobody has a key anymore. Everybody has a little card." So that was my little hospital experience.
bad.
And then when my mom got sick
Yeah.
and she was hospitalized for a week,
It's better than cemetery for
it's funny because I always walk around the cemetery here, and everybody, like half the town, walks in that cemetery, but it's so peaceful. And I sent Julio a picture. I was like, the cemetery here is really
Oh.
peaceful compared to this church. Every time I walk by this church, I get the chills, I get the creeps. I'd rather spend the night at the cemetery. And I mentioned it to my friend Christina because we live in the same town.
really.
And she's like, "Yep, I have always felt energy there. I always felt there's something's not right in that place." I was like, "What about the cemetery?" She's like, "It always felt peaceful. Nothing bad there." But I've been to other cemeteries where I'm like, "All right, it's getting dark. We need to leave. Tengo miedo."
I sent that picture to Kathy.
Yeah. Like the one by
sent
Julio's
that
house.
picture to Kathy. Yeah, right. That's sad. Yeah.
When I was in
The one by
Mexico-
your house, Julio, is so creepy that like when it's foggy, it's like those. It looks like
Ah.
those because I think that some of those graves must be from the early centuries, like 18, 17, 16.
Oh, that way. Okay,
It
okay,
looks
yeah.
old.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the
So-
cemetery that I walk on, they're all from like the
Right there.
1800s. My friend died in 1832.
Uh-huh.
No, 1930.
Oh,
Oh, lovely.
I had a little friend there that
So-
there was
So
a
Julio,
spirit.
send me a picture of that church you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Let me go on my text
And,
messages.
Go for it.
there's somebody creepy looking outside the window. Like, it's looking out the window. It's a female with a red dress,
Uh-huh.
black hair, long, pale complexion.
All right, there it is. All right, let me put it on the live to see if anybody will catch it. Let me open a blank slate. There it is. Where do you see it?
There.
Hey, close up,
Oh,
zoom in.
let's. Oh, I deleted it. Let me see how much I can zoom in.
What is it?
I think that's it. Oh, Dios mío. Where? In that door?
Nope. Do you see where the car is? Let's say that
Yes.
that's window number one. So
Okay.
from right to left, one, two, three, the fourth window. If you could enlarge that one, you would see it there.
Let's see. I think that's as big as it will go. That's a tree.
Okay.
That's actually a stained
Right.
glass, and that's a thing of a
When
tree.
you look, well, when you look in the window,
Mm-hmm.
if you look in that window, like on my cell phone, when you sent it to me, I enlarged it. You could see a woman looking from inside that window, outside, to where you are, and she's wearing a red dress. She has long hair, and she's wearing, and she has light complexion, like pale complexion. Now, I was gonna ask you if it's that we're looking at the opposite
There it
window
is.
on the other side. Is there an angel wearing?
So that's the window you're talking about.
Yes, that's the window.
I just see the tree.
It's like, okay, from the tree to the right a little bit. It's
See,
right there,
there's
right
the
there,
actual tree.
right
That's a real
there. You
tree.
see it right there.
And there's a stained glass
Do
tree.
you see it?
Oh, like right
Right.
there?
And there's a stained glass tree. So, like, yeah, almost at the tip of the tree that's on the ground, you can see it to the right of the picture, mid window. Do you see it?
I don't. Do you see it, Julio?
There's white, I don't
Yeah.
know, clouds or something above it.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I don't see it.
I don't know how you don't see it.
I don't know. It's probably because I walk by that church like every single day.
It might be your friend from the cemetery looking at you through there, going, "Hey, I'm over here too." I don't know.
I'm all over the place.
She's like
Let me
Following
following you
you.
now.
Take me home. Okay.
take me home.
Country roads.
All right, let me turn on my file sharing.
Yeah. So. Oh my
I
god.
have a video that I want to show you guys so you can tell me what you think. I should have done this a lot earlier.
Okay.
Pero is it down
Yes.
here? Oh no, I don't even know where it
I
is
don't know.
now. I saw it on YouTube and I was like, I need to find it, I need to find it, and then suddenly I saw it on TikTok. I was like, I have to download it now. And now I can't find it.
Oh no, 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 bueno.
Goodness gracious. Como siempre digo.
Mhm. Any commentaries? Any deals? Anything?
Why I'd look for it.
Anybody
Anyone
want to
wants to join in?
share
Come on,
their
people, join.
spiritual
Share
experience?
your
Anything that
experience, your ghost experience.
weirded you out?
Yes, yeah, or something that really, really, really was crazy in your life, or something happened in your life. Like me, one time when my mom was in a hospital, this is the funny part. She was in one of the in one of the rooms in the next door room. Actually, I guess she was. They had a big family, and I guess they were there, and the lady passed that minute, and I could feel when she went. She like I was coming in to see my mom, and I felt the light go like I don't know what it was, a bling or whatever, and the only thing I heard is That's the only thing I heard. And I said, "Oh, somebody's gone. Somebody left this world." And yeah, and 5 minutes later, I hear all the family screaming, yelling, like like crying bad, and yeah, it was that lady. There was the lady that passed away, and I was like, "Damn, how can that happen?" And I felt it in her last breath, you know. But it was weird. It was weird. It's spiritual. It's very weird because there could be good ones, there could be bad ones. There's black shadows, white shadows, different things, different things. Did you find it, Greg?
I saw a demento at my sister's.
I'm glad you mentioned Dark Shadows because I have a video and I forgot the name of this. There's this little series. This guy has published a few videos on his YouTube channel. I think it's the Ghost of Cape Town, something like that. And he's been capturing shadow people, and he's actually run after them because he's kind of stopped being scared of them. So check out this video. I found it on TikTok. And
Okay,
it's...
there he is in the window again.
Hold on. Can you guys see it?
Went under the bed.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Yeah.
that is scary. Oh my god.
Well, that's kind of what I told you that I saw at my sister's, that it went like from the door, her front door, like downward and then towards the TV, and then it flew into one of the rooms. And
My
I was
screen
like,
kind of
"That's not okay.
froze.
Who welcomed you?"
I
I know.
remember that. I remember that where your parents used to live, right in that house. I remember that we went to
No,
that house. You
this
took me
is
to her room.
actually this was in my sister's house in Norwalk, and I have a feeling that some of the stuff
Okay.
that they brought with him, it attached itself to that, and that's why it's there. And I told her, you need to get rid of everything that has to do with that
Probably
house.
so.
Get rid of it. It's retaining negative energy from
Probably
that
so.
house.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably
That house
so.
was infested.
Yes, that house was.
And my dad brought this
That really.
thing from the garage.
Honestly,
like the
honestly,
door
I'm gonna
stuff in
tell
it.
you the
There's food
truth.
there.
I'll tell you the truth. That house gave me the creeps. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. That house where your
Right?
parents used to live gave me the creeps. Yes, it did. It will make my like.
It
I
was
know.
awful, man,
Yeah.
living there, growing
Yeah.
up there. And then they didn't believe anything we said.
Yeah.
Typical
They
parents.
thought we
Yeah.
were
I felt
making it up.
that mostly in that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then when my
Mostly
cousins would
where your
come and they
sister,
would see
the
it
sister
too,
that
they
you.
would be like, "Oh, they're just playing."
Yeah. I think that room where your sister used to live in, that one was really bad.
Yes,
That room.
that's where I'm telling you that I had that thing lay
Yeah.
on top of me. It was in that room. I had to go sleep in the backyard. And after that, the room in the backyard, they started messing with me too, where I kept having like repetitive dreams where they would lift me off the bed and then they would put me like in front of the door, like they wanted me to leave. And they kept doing that and I couldn't fall asleep. And I was like, "Go F yourself." And I'd walk away all angry.
I think my screen like froze on the video. This is
That's
kind of
such
weird.
Oh
wants
my
to see
god.
it. It's hiding.
It was a good
But we
video.
did see it. We did.
Yeah, I have another one too.
Uh,
The other one's creepy
Okay,
too.
what's the other one? Great.
No. I guess we're gonna have to call it a night.
if they don't want you. Yeah, the ghost doesn't want us to show.
Ah!
Find the other video. Find the other video.
I know it's right
Refresh,
there.
refresh.
Computer got frozen.
No, my computer is fine. It's running like a charm.
Oh, okay.
But it's just not. It's not having it today. Turn that
Doesn't
off.
wanna cooperate. Yeah, it's not.
No, it's like like I can see the screens over here. I can see everything that I'm doing, but you're not seeing that.
No, no, yeah.
Mm.
You know, last time we talked about the shadow
It
people, remember
sounds
my
to me.
internet like died?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
You know
Yeah,
there's
why
it
it
shut
is, you
this
guys?
down.
Because it's
Remember?
Friday. And I was going to mention that earlier, and I decided not to, but I'm going to tell you. According to my mom, Fridays and Tuesdays, you're not supposed to be doing this because you're actually, this is when the doors or the whatever you call it are open to the other side. And they could actually hear what you're saying and doing. So, like today, for example, Friday, cleansings are to be done by 12 midnight but before 3 a.m. Because after 3 a.m. is what they call the twilight hour,
the witching hour.
something like that. And that's for evil instead of for good, the bewitching hour instead of the good. Does that make sense? So, in all reality, we're kind of playing like the Ouija right now.
How
We
do
should
we not play
actually
the
do this
Ouija?
maybe on a skip day, like Thursday
But
or
this
a
is a
Wednesday.
great question we need to ask the shaman
Because of that
tomorrow.
reason. You know what I
Si
mean?
mañana se
Yes.
presenta,
Yeah.
we're gonna ask
How
him to
true
see
is
what
it?
he's. Yeah. Oh,
Because when I've been like assigned by sorcerers, if you will, to do cleansings and stuff, they tell me either a Tuesday or a Friday, never on a Sunday, because Sunday is day for God only. You know. So let's see what he says because
Are
I've
you
always known that. So we're kind of playing with
are
fire
you
with this,
available
and that's probably
tomorrow,
why it's
Kathy?
not working.
Or you're working?
Me?
Or you're working tomorrow?
No, I'm
Yeah.
not working. No, I was actually waiting
Okay.
today to see if they were going to give me a time frame for an interview for Monday. That's actually what I'm waiting for.
Uh-huh. No, I'm saying like working like on your other job. Your other job.
Oh, he hasn't called me about anything. I don't think I have anything tomorrow. I was hoping for something
Okay.
tonight, but kind of want to show up anyway. You want to go? I'll go pick you up.
No. No.
so apparently we're stuck now. I'm stuck on that TikTok screen. Or maybe TikTok's trying to advertise.
So we're
They
not.
better give me
No
money.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Let me
that's
see.
all.
That's
That's all I have.
You need to send us that videos so we can see them.
Well, we definitely can play them tomorrow because they are creepy. I'm gonna look for more tomorrow so we can review them and talk to the shaman to see what his point of view is about them. So they're really
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
I really do enjoy them because they do give me the chills that are electrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Julio,
Ahora pues, so
send Greg forward to Greg the one that I showed you. There's a compilation of like where you can see them like coming out of nowhere. Like somebody's walking, for example, down a hallway, and at the end of the hallway, a little bit of shadow that's there like materializes and turns into something that looks humanistic, but it's not really human. And then you could see them like coming at the person that's walking that way. When that person stops, they fall, and then they're pulling them by the leg and like dragging them down the hallway and onto the bend. It's really weird. So I
Is
was
this
like,
the one where
Julio,
the
okay, so
ladies?
I understand that some people can actually drop this stuff. It's a
Is
guy.
this the one where the ladies having like she's in the break
It's a
room?
guy.
It's a guy. I thought it was the one with the break room, and then she gets
That's
dragged
another
into the
one.
darkness.
There's that.
And like
There's
the one,
that, and then there's
the
a guy that's in an
duendes.
office. I believe it's in the Philippines.
the duendes too are weird.
There's a door that opens and closes, and so he goes over there to see what's that. And
Oh,
when
I
he
don't know
goes
if I
to
should
close
say
that
this.
door, a chair moves right next
What?
to him. It's some scary
What?
stuff.
Something
Runs
opens?
away.
Something opens?
I,
So
I just saw something move
wrong.
behind you,
Some of
Julio.
those I know that are like
You know what really sucks? This thing is stuck here. It's like I can't even review the video. Oh, it's so frustrating. But I saw something black move behind you,
Yeah.
and it's not El Moreno.
Oh, me? Who, me?
It's right behind you by that door.
No.
At least I'm not sleeping there. At least I'm not sleeping there.
You're
Me neither.
After you want to come over and spend the night?
Yeah, let me go pick your ass up. I told you, let me go pick you up. Let's go out.
No.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's
Yeah.
all I have for
Anyway.
you guys for tonight. Oh well, you're closing, Julio, because you're the host, even though they can't see
Well, you're the
you.
host. You took over. Take over.
Well, that's well, that's all I have for you, everybody. Unless you faceless people have anything to say because the screen is frozen.
you ghost people have anything to say.
Right?
Cállate, menso.
No, I don't. I'm okay. It's cool, and it's like, well, I hope we don't have this problem tomorrow, and hope we do everything. Do it again in español. So, si quieren ver eso en español, véanlo mañana.
Of course.
Mañana tenemos otro día en español.
Yes. Well,
Y a ver
Kathy,
si
do you have anything to say?
Problemista puede arreglar las cosas.
I want to thank you guys for your time, and I appreciate what you guys do.
The
as
two
far as
viewers.
enlightening, us with everything. I ignore him. He's always like that. Get used to it. To love Julio is to love everything about him. I swear.
Wasn't
And
screen.
I love you very much, Julio. Thank you so much for everything.
I'm a little teddy bear,
You guys
right?
are
Leave me
great.
alone.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
just
Well, I'm
here
gonna
to,
finish the live.